There are people who walk into a room and instantly command attention. Not because they're the richest, the most attractive, or the smartest, but because they have something else, something almost invisible yet undeniable. A kind of magnetism that draws people in, makes them listen, and leaves them wanting more. For a long time, we've been told that this is just something you're born with. That some people are naturally charismatic, and others, well, aren't. But what if I told you that's a myth? Meet Alex. A few years ago, Alex was the kind of person who blended into the background. At meetings, they were overlooked. At social gatherings, they struggled to join conversations. When they spoke, people barely noticed. But one day, something changed. It wasn't luck. It wasn't a radical personality shift. It was a set of small, intentional changes that transformed the way people responded to them. Today, Alex walks into a room, and people light up. They lean in when Alex speaks. They remember Alex. What happened? Alex cracked the code of charisma, and that's exactly what you're about to learn in this book. Charisma isn't a magical gift. It's a learnable skill rooted in psychology, body language, and emotional intelligence. And by the time you finish this book, you'll understand exactly what makes people magnetic, and more importantly, how to cultivate that power for yourself. This book, written and published by Mindful Literary, is your guide to becoming the kind of person people can't help but be drawn to. It's time to unlock your hidden charisma. Let's begin. Introduction. Charisma is not a gift, it's a skill. Meet Alex, the wallflower turned star of the party. My journey started in the corner of a crowded room, relegated to the shadows while others basked in the spotlight. I always found myself trailing behind more outgoing friends, struggling to join in on conversations and laughing awkwardly at jokes I didn't quite understand. I was the person who blended into the wallpaper, invisible and unnoticed, while people danced and chatted around me. It wasn't that I lacked personality, I simply struggled to show it. My charm felt locked away, like a hidden treasure waiting for someone to find the map. While I mastered the art of nodding convincingly and smiling politely, I was yearning for more connection, more attention, more magnetic energy that seemed to radiate from those confident beings who swirled effortlessly in social settings. The pivotal moment came, quite unexpectedly, on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon. I stumbled upon a podcast that flipped my perspective just like that. A metaphorical light bulb clicked on. The host discussed how magnetism isn't about being extraordinary, it's about tapping into the ordinary. Suddenly, it clicked for me. I realized that everyone around me was just as human as I was, navigating their own insecurities and desires. I began to practice the art of genuine connection. Instead of waiting for others to approach me, I boldly initiated conversations around shared experiences, bringing humor and humility into the mix. I discovered that asking simple yet thoughtful questions invited others to share too, forming authentic bonds. The more I let go of my self-consciousness, the more I shone. I was no longer a wallflower, but a budding flower in full bloom, inviting and vibrant. The secret to becoming magnetic lies in being truly present and engaging with others at a human level, not just as spectators, but as participants in the delightful chaos of life. The myth of natural charisma. Why we assume some people are just born with it, and why that's wrong. Charisma. It's that magical quality we often attribute to the elite. The star performers, the brilliant politicians, the smooth-talking motivational speakers. We see them dazzling crowds and commanding attention, and we make the simple, sweeping conclusion that they must have been born with some special charm. Sure, they may flash dazzling smiles and radiate self-confidence, but let's face it, putting these folks on a pedestal and chalking their charm up to genetics is both lazy and misleading. The truth, they've cultivated their charisma just like anyone else can. Think about it. Most of us have likely seen or interacted with that friend who technically has the charisma of a wet sock. They fumble over words, have a knack for awkward silences, and yet, every now and then, they surprise us with an illuminating insight or a quirky joke that lights up the room. We often overlook these quiet heroics simply because we've been conditioned to seek the loudest, glossiest, and most traditionally charismatic figures. But maybe, just maybe, this so-called charismatic elite isn't entirely what it seems. Maybe charisma isn't reserved for the genetically fortunate. The real kicker? Charisma can actually be learned. Yes, learned. It's not some rare gene passed down through generations like a wonky nose or a love for pineapple on pizza, which, by the way, is completely normal. Fight me on this. Allow me to introduce you to the everyday heroes, the unsung champions of charisma who broke the mold. Take the introverted librarian who charms her book club with thoughtful insights, or the shy office worker who can transform even the most mundane meetings into a vibrant exchange of ideas. These are not just accidents. These individuals have picked up tools, practiced their pitches, and learned the art of connection. They've borrowed from their experiences, reflected on their interactions, and through sheer determination have upgraded their charisma. And here's the juicy part. You can do it too. Start small, practice active listening, evoke curiosity in conversations, or simply smile. It truly is that simple. Everyone, regardless of their starting point, has the potential to unlock their own unique flair and shine just as bright as the so-called naturally charismatic. The science of influence. How charisma is a blend of psychology, body language, and emotional intelligence. Our brains are fascinating little things, wired in a way that makes us react to charisma almost instinctively. Research has shown that when we encounter someone exuding charisma, our brains produce a cocktail of chemicals that can feel exhilarating, like a mental roller coaster ride that makes us lean in closer. Scientific studies reveal that charismatic individuals often trigger the mirror neurons in our brains, igniting a feeling of connection even before we've uttered a word. It's as if our brains can't help but play a charming game of follow the leader, instantly enraptured by their magnetic energy. Add a sprinkle of laughter here and there, and you create a delightful experience that has us hooked. Humor, after all, operates like social glue, welcoming and lifting environments where charisma can flourish. Now, let's delve into the intriguing cocktail of psychological factors that contribute to this irresistible charm. Charismatic people often exhibit a unique blend of confidence, empathy, and authenticity. Confidence acts as their secret sauce. It draws people in and gives them the courage to embrace their quirks. Imagine someone standing tall with a twinkle in their eye, ready to engage with the world. Empathy, on the other hand, adds a softer note to their presence. It's like they have a superpower that enables them to tune into others' feelings, making conversations feel intimate and genuine. And then there's authenticity, which is vital. It's not just about putting on a performance, but being relatable and real. A charismatic person may hit you with a captivating story, punctuated with laughter, but the magic lies in their ability to be themselves, flaws and all, cultivating an effortless charm that invites connection. Understanding the science behind charisma can transform how we approach our interactions. Whether you're in a crowded room or having a heart-to-heart, channeling your inner charm can create significant ripple effects in your relationships and influence. Practice active listening, which can elevate your emotional intelligence, allowing you to connect deeply with others. Sprinkle in a dash of humor, keep your body language open and inviting, and let your authentic self shine through. The beauty of charisma is that it's not something you're just born with. Everyone has the potential to embody it. So next time you're in a social setting, remember that a dose of confidence paired with genuine interest is often the winning formula for ensuring you are seen, heard, and most importantly, remembered. Imagine walking into a room and instantly turning heads. What is the magic behind those who seem to effortlessly attract others? It's not just about looks or a charming smile, though those help. It's an art, a blend of confidence, authenticity, and the ability to connect with others on a deeper level. This journey we're about to embark on is packed with practical tips that you can easily implement in your daily life. Through relatable anecdotes and a sprinkle of humor, I'll guide you into the world of charisma, where every conversation becomes a dance and every interaction a chance to shine. You'll meet people along the way who transform their lives simply by becoming irresistibly charismatic, and you'll find that their journeys echo your own potential. Now, let's set the stakes high. Imagine being the person everyone wants to be around. You know the one. They light up the room, make people laugh effortlessly, and everyone seems to gravitate towards them. Sounds enticing, right? Spoiler alert, this can be you. Yes, you have what it takes. Your unique characteristics, quirks, and personality traits hold the key to magnetism, and soon you will learn how to enhance these qualities. The world doesn't need another cookie-cutter personality. It needs you, in all your quirky glory, exuding confidence and charisma. So, get ready as we unlock those elements that make someone truly irresistible, and prepare to step into the spotlight of your own life. The journey toward becoming a magnetic person is not just about the destination. It's about enjoying the process. You'll discover the secrets that open doors and the simple practices that change your aura. By infusing humor into your interactions and learning the art of listening genuinely, you'll find that people feel more drawn to you. A quick tip: start by sharing stories that connect with others on an emotional level. People remember how you made them feel, not just what you said. So, let's dive into this colorful world of charisma where you'll turn the innate power of connection into your greatest asset. Chapter 1: The Charismatic Code: What Makes People Magnetic. Charisma isn't about looks, wealth, or intelligence. It's about presence, confidence, and energy. True charisma is often mischaracterized as being linked to looks, wealth, or intelligence. While those traits may catch the eye initially, real charisma is anchored in something much deeper: a genuine ability to connect on a personal level. It's the warmth in your demeanor and the way you make others feel seen and heard. Imagine walking into a room, and rather than turning heads because of a flashy outfit or a big bank account, you draw people in with your infectious energy and open smile. People are drawn to those who make them feel important, who listen intently and engage actively. That's the essence of charisma. It's not about having the best stories or the snappiest one-liners. It's about making others feel that they matter, that their presence is just as important as yours. Energy and presence can transform even the most ordinary individuals into beacons of charisma. Picture your friend Mike, the guy who can trip over his own feet and still manage to leave an impact. One evening, Mike decided to share a ridiculously embarrassing story about a disastrous date where he accidentally sent a text meant for his buddy to the girl he was trying to impress instead. Instead of hiding in shame, he told the story with such vibrant energy that the whole room erupted in laughter, completely ignoring the fact that he was, well, Mike. His presence filled the space. It was unmistakably magnetic. People didn't just hear his story, they felt it. By the end of the night, others were sharing their own stories, creating a bond grounded in humor and warmth. Charisma, you see, often hinges on our energy, the way we choose to present ourselves, and Mike, with all his clumsiness, had an abundance. Developing your charisma doesn't require a makeover or a financial windfall. It begins with a simple shift: focus on your presence. Practice being fully engaged with whoever is in front of you. Put your phone away and make eye contact. The next time you're in a conversation, instead of rehearsing what you'll say next, actually listen. Allow your energy to change the room. Sure, you may not become the life of every party overnight, but you'll soon notice that the more present you are, the more organically charismatic you become. Engage authentically, laugh often, and connect deeply. That, my friend, is how you cultivate true charisma. The 3 pillars of charisma. Presence is the magical ingredient that transforms a mundane interaction into a meaningful connection. Imagine being at a party, and there's someone engrossed in their phone while you're trying to chat. It's like talking to a wall, right? Now picture the opposite. Someone who doesn't just hear you but genuinely sees you, their eyes sparkling with interest, hanging on your every word. That's the power of presence. When we show up fully in the moment, we tap into a reservoir of energy that uplifts both us and those we interact with. Engaging eye contact, a sincere smile, and leaning in slightly when someone speaks can create an invisible thread of connection. This level of attentiveness is both disarming and captivating, making others feel valued and understood. Sure, it takes practice, especially in a world buzzing with distractions, but mastering presence is akin to wielding a superpower in social situations. Power, when wielded wisely, can be a palette of authority dipped in warmth. There's a fine line here. We all know someone who carries authority like a sledgehammer, intimidating and often off-putting. Striving for balance means expressing confidence without fuming with arrogance. Picture a leader who knows their stuff, yet adds a dash of humor and relatability. They make you feel heard and cherished, but also leave no room for nonsense. It's about owning your space while ensuring others feel comfortable. You can establish authority through your body language, tone of voice, and the way you articulate your thoughts. When I learned to share a friendly jest right after asserting a point, it transformed boardroom discussions into collaborative brainstorming sessions. People are more inclined to follow someone whose strength is balanced by kindness. It invites respect rather than fear. Warmth is the secret ingredient that makes charisma irresistible. It's not just about greeting someone, it's a craft of making people feel as if they matter. Imagine a scenario. You're at a coffee shop, and the barista remembers your name and your usual order. That little flicker of recognition can turn your day around. Similarly, using someone's name in conversation, showing genuine curiosity about their thoughts, or sharing a personal anecdote can process how valued they feel. This warmth fosters trust, and it opens people up, allowing deeper conversations. One effective technique I've adopted is the three-part compliment. I start with an observation, validate it, and then share how it resonates with me. It's genuine, and the person walks away feeling like a superstar. Building warmth in interactions doesn't take much effort, yet it builds bridges that can stand the test of time. The brain's instant attraction response. Why we gravitate towards certain personalities. The science behind instant attraction is both fascinating and a little funny. It turns out our brains are equipped with a complex network of neurons that respond to stimuli quicker than you can say chemistry. Imagine walking into a room and locking eyes with someone. In that split second, your brain kicks into high gear, firing off neurotransmitters like dopamine, which makes you feel all warm and fuzzy. This isn't just any ordinary feeling. It's as if your brain has suddenly taken a liking to this person and has decided they could be your new best friend, or something more. It's a highly sophisticated process that's also surprisingly spontaneous. Our brains evaluate someone based on a multitude of factors, including body language, facial expressions, and even voice tone, all before we've had a chance to think about it. And let's be real, if our brains had a sense of humor, they'd probably chuckle at the absurdity of how we fall head over heels within minutes or even seconds. A simple yet effective tip to keep in mind is to engage in active listening. When conversing with someone, focus entirely on them rather than your next brilliant reply. By being truly present, you radiate an inviting energy that draws people in. So, the next time you find yourself in a situation where you want to attract someone's attention, remember that your brain is already working on it. All you have to do is show up, be confident, and let your personality shine through. After all, your brain knows how to play this game. It's time to let it lead the way. Chapter 2. The First Impression Formula. How to Captivate Instantly. How your brain decides if someone is charismatic within seconds. First impressions are astonishingly quick. In fact, a mere 7 seconds is all it takes for our brains to form an impression of someone. This instantaneous judgment isn't just a matter of preference. It's intricately woven into the very fabric of our neurobiology. As we interact with others, our brain is processing a myriad of cues: facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, and even the subtleties of personal scent. It's like an Olympic sprint of the mind, a whirlwind of neurons firing, dopamine dancing, and synapses snapping to help you decide if someone has that oh-so-elusive charismatic spark, or if they're just a solid wall of meh. Unless you think this is some highbrow psychological mumbo-jumbo, consider this. We can even feel someone's charisma before they even open their mouth. Yes, my friend, thanks to a little thing called mirror neurons, you can pick up on charisma like a sponge soaking up water, even when the person in question is merely standing in line at the coffee shop, drumming their fingers impatiently. Suddenly, the caffeine fix becomes an existential crisis, and you can't help but read into their every micro-movement. So how can you leverage this astonishing fact of human interaction? Crafting a positive first impression is like preparing a recipe, and you're the chef. Start with confidence. Stand tall, not only to show the world you mean business, but also to signal to your brain that you're ready to take on anyone who dares approach you. Smile genuinely, because nothing says I'm delightful like a sincere grin. Pair that with the kind of eye contact that says, yes, I'm interesting, and you're interesting too, and watch as captive audiences become friendly accomplices in your quest for charisma. To sprinkle on the top, let your voice carry warmth. The right tone can transform mundane conversations into delightful engagements. As you blend these ingredients thoughtfully into your demeanor, you'll find that people will gravitate toward you, dazzled by your magnetic allure, even if they can't quite put their finger on why. Keep in mind that creating a strong first impression isn't merely about charm. It's also about authenticity. Don't just mimic the charismatic friends you admire. Find what makes you uniquely magnetic. Maybe you have a quirky sense of humor or stories that can make anyone roll on the floor laughing. Lean into those traits. As you engage with others, aim to connect rather than perform. Think of it this way: the less effort you put into crafting a persona, and the more you invest in being yourself, the more effortlessly charismatic you'll become. So, next time you step into a room full of strangers, remember that your brain's wiring already knows what to do. Just let your inner light shine, and watch as the world takes notice. The halo effect. Why one powerful trait makes people assume you have them all. The halo effect is one of those intriguing quirks of human psychology that turns our perceptions into a delightful jumble of half-truths and assumptions. Imagine walking into a room where a person exudes charm, confidence, or striking beauty. Suddenly, this ethereal quality warps the air around them, leading us to believe they are multi-talented geniuses, compassionate saints, or perhaps the next superhero. It's as if we have our very own mental filter, sprouting unchecked optimism from just one shining trait. Of course, we've all been victims of this cognitive shortcut, elevating a mediocre singer to superstar status simply because they have a captivating smile or a generous spirit. It's a blessing and a curse. While it enables us to form quick judgments, it can also lead to some hilarious misinterpretations. Picture the time you entrusted your dog to that lovable neighbor who turned out to be an expert in poodle escape artistry. Charming at first glance, clearly lacking in the dog wrangling department. Finding humor in these quirks of human nature not only makes for great anecdotes, but also invites us to explore how we can mold our own traits to elicit similar effects in others. If you're wondering how to cultivate that golden trait that prompts people to attach a string of admirable characteristics to you, the answer lies in sincerity combined with practice. One of the most compelling traits that consistently leaves a mark is confidence, an inexplicable charm that tells others, "I know what I'm doing." You don't need to be a master of every skill. Just being confident in your abilities, no matter how small, can make you appear more appealing in the eyes of others. Start by tackling what you enjoy or feel passionate about. Take small steps. Speak more assertively, maintain eye contact, and engage others with your ideas. When you believe in yourself, others are likely to feel the same. It has a domino effect. Your enthusiasm draws them in, and they start assuming you're a whiz in other areas too. Add a dash of humor to the equation, and the halo effect shines even brighter. Being able to laugh at yourself or make light of a situation helps build rapport and instantly grants you the aura of warmth and approachability. The psychology of status and presence. How to make an impact before saying a word. As we move through life, we drop subtle clues about our status. Some big, some small, but all intricately woven into the fabric of our interactions. The way we walk into a room can say more than any opening line we might prepare. There's a kind of invisible aura surrounding individuals who naturally command attention. Ever notice how some people seem to float in, and the whole atmosphere shifts? That's the power of presence. It's a cocktail of confidence, posture, and energy that announces our arrival before our words even get the chance. Thinking about it, if you want to make an impact, focus first on how you enter a space. Stand tall and walk intentionally. It's almost like a red carpet has rolled out just for you. Your posture is an open invitation for others to notice you, while hunched shoulders and shuffling feet send a different signal, a retreat from engagement. Consider for a moment the clothing you wear. It's not about labels or price tags, but rather how your attire complements your presence. Subtle color choices can subtly alter how you're perceived. Darker colors may project authority and seriousness, while lighter shades can exude approachability and warmth. Who knew your wardrobe could double as a diplomatic envoy? Even your facial expressions play a crucial role. A genuine smile can soften perceptions of status and make you more relatable, even when you're the one wielding the authority. Pay attention to the micro-expressions that flicker across your face. They're like tiny billboards that broadcast your emotional state. Authenticity shines through these small gestures, and people are drawn to it like moths to a flame. Body language is your best friend and a silent partner in your quest for authentic presence. Presence is not something you put on. It's about amplifying what's already there. The trick: make your body the most charismatic version of itself. Start with eye contact. Engage, maintain, and hold it. There's an intimate power in eye contact that tells people you mean business. It's like saying, "I see you," and you matter, without uttering a syllable. Be sure not to transform into a deer caught in headlights. A balance is necessary. Too much can be intimidating. Too little can come off as shifty. Aim for that sweet spot. Then there's the art of gestures. Use your hands as if they were paintbrushes, enhancing your verbal storytelling and drawing your audience in. A well-placed hand movement can punctuate a point, making your words resonate more effectively. Finally, let's dive into the power of the pause, the unsung hero of body language. When you assertively pause before making a statement, You create a sense of anticipation, making others lean in and engage. It's like holding a high note before the crescendo. The moment feels alive with possibility. It's subtle, but it's a game changer. These tactics don't require you to morph into a different person. They're about magnifying your natural charisma. Practice in front of a mirror or with a friend to perfect your cues, and soon, people will start noticing your commanding presence. When you walk into a room equipped with these body language tactics, you're not just present, you become unforgettable. The number one mistake most people make in first impressions, and how to fix it immediately. First impressions can be as tricky as a game of chess played on a roller coaster. You're sitting across from someone new, and your brain is channeling all of its energy into not letting your nerves show. And then it happens, the moment your mouth opens to greet them, and you spit out something that's entirely unintelligible. Ever ask someone how their vacation to Paris was, only to realize their smooth tan was from a weekend at the beach? Oops. It's these hilarious blunders that expose the common pitfall, failing to truly engage before that awkward curtain rises. Picture it. You're a mime trapped in a glass box called First Date. The audience is watching, judgment in the air, and suddenly your brain short-circuits, leading you to rattle off random chatter or worse, stumble into uncomfortable silence. It's relatable because we've all been there, juggling nerves and the crushing weight of expectation while fearing the dreaded "what do next" pause. The good news is that transforming these moments does not require a PhD in social science. In fact, it's as simple as putting your focus on the other person rather than on your own jitters. It's easy to forget that first impressions are a two-way street. Instead of overanalyzing every word that leaves your mouth, ask a question. Questions are your ticket to escape awkward small talk. They invite others to share something about themselves, which ultimately allows you to listen actively and respond genuinely. For instance, rather than launching into your meticulously rehearsed life story, throw out a fun, open-ended question like, if you could have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be? Suddenly, you're no longer just a nervous individual. You've become an engaging conversationalist. You're fostering a connection that's not just about the first impression, but is also a dialogue that can genuinely blossom. So, the next time you find yourself at a networking event and the palpable tension sets in, remember, better to be a curious explorer than an anxious robot. Shift your focus to active listening and meaningful engagement. People love to talk about themselves. The more you encourage them to share, the more relaxed you'll feel. And before you know it, you'll be laughing about that vacation mishap with new friends. Consider it your secret weapon. A well-crafted question and genuine interest can turn a cringeworthy encounter into a memorable connection. Keep that in your back pocket, and you'll be amazed at how quickly the first impression game changes in your favor. Chapter 3. The Power of Presence. How to command attention without forcing it. Why most people aren't really listening. They're just waiting to talk. The struggle is real when it comes to conversations. You know that moment when you're sharing a story, and you can almost see the gears turning in the other person's head as they prepare their comeback? It's like a mental race, where instead of engaging with your words, they're just waiting for the moment to jump in with their own tale of woe or triumph. This is where genuine listening takes a back seat. People often treat conversations like a tennis match, each one trying to serve up the best volley instead of absorbing the experience of the game. Genuine listening is crucial if we want to foster connections that matter. Nobody wants to feel like a podcast playing on a loop while the other person sits there, nodding politely, mentally drafting their next Facebook post. True listening goes beyond hearing words. It's about understanding emotions, perspectives, and the unspoken language that often holds more weight than the actual dialogue. So, how do we become the rare breed that actually listens? It starts with active listening techniques that transform conversations from mundane exchanges into meaningful dialogues. One of the simplest yet most powerful tools is the practice of reflective listening. Essentially, it's like a conversational echo. When someone shares something, repeat back what you heard, but in your own words. This not only gives the speaker the chance to feel understood, but subtly encourages them to open up further. You might say, so what you're saying is, it's amazing how a little reflection can bring such clarity, and it lets the other person know you're not just nodding along like a bobblehead. Eye contact is also vital. It's the secret sauce of engagement. When you look someone in the eyes while they speak, they can feel the energy of your interest. Plus, It keeps you in the moment instead of wandering off to dream about what you're having for dinner later. Next time you find yourself in a conversation, remember to put your listening glasses on, a little like those quirky 3D glasses, but with less risk of a headache. Engage with your questions. Ask follow-ups that connect to their feelings, like a well-placed life buoy in choppy waters. How did that make you feel? Or what happened next? You'll uncover layers of depth. Trust me, this approach transforms a simple chat into something much richer. Active listening isn't just an art, it's sometimes a performance. So go out there, be the attentive conversationalist we all wish we could be, and watch how your relationships flourish. The charisma switch. How to shift from invisible to unforgettable. Picture this. I'm standing in a room full of people, and it feels like I just walked into an awkward silence convention. You know those moments where you blend into the wallpaper so seamlessly that even the furniture looks more inviting than you? It was during one of these cringeworthy events that I realized I had to make a change. I dubbed it the charisma switch, a magical toggle I had yet to discover. My friend Mike, who once sparked a spontaneous dance-off in a dull corporate meeting, had his charisma switch flipped to the max while mine remained stubbornly flipped off. After some hopeless attempts at charming the crowd, like telling the world's longest dad joke about a chicken crossing the road, I finally understood. Charisma isn't something you're born with. It's something you can learn to turn on, like a light in a dark room. Flipping your charisma switch isn't rocket science. It just requires a little self-awareness and practice. First, it's all about presence. People can only connect with you if you're genuinely present and engaged. Once you master the art of active listening, an acquired taste, much like kale, you'll start noticing those little sparks of connection. Next, let your sense of humor shine. It's the grease that keeps social gears turning smoothly. Share funny stories or quirky observations, even if it means embarrassing yourself a little. Trust me, the audience will love it. And let's not forget about body language. Open posture and genuine eye contact can turn even the most routine interactions into charismatic exchanges. So when you enter a room, be that person that others are inexplicably drawn to, like a moth to a flame, minus the tragic ending. To flip your charisma switch effectively, practice makes perfect. Start small. Turn it on during casual conversations with friends or family. Experiment with different styles, whether it's cracking a joke, telling an engaging story, or being particularly enthusiastic about a mundane topic. Observe others who seem to have an effortless charisma and take mental notes of what they do. Remember that authentic charisma doesn't need to be loud. Sometimes it's the subtlety that draws people in. Even the simple act of being approachable can make a world of difference. Smile naturally, nod as others speak, and don't be afraid to share parts of yourself. The goal isn't just to be unforgettable for one moment, but to create connections that linger long after you've left the room. So, my friend, as you venture forth, remember to flip that switch. The world is waiting, and you have a charming story to tell. The science of deep listening. How making people feel truly heard makes you magnetic. Deep listening is not just a passive act. It's a powerful tool that ignites connection and trust. Neuroscientists have discovered that when we truly listen, we ignite a symphony of neural activity in our brains, creating pathways that foster empathy and understanding. Imagine sitting across from someone, and as they talk, your brainwaves start to sync up. Yes, you heard that right. When two people engage deeply, their neural patterns can begin to match, intensifying their connection. I once had a friend who could listen like no one I'd ever met. During our late-night talks, he would lean in, nod in all the right places, and somehow, I felt like I was the center of his universe. That kind of attention is magnetic. People don't just like being around you, they are drawn to you like moths to a flame, all because you made them feel seen and understood. Now, let's turn the dial down and get practical. Developing deep listening skills isn't reserved for the saints among us. It's a skill we can all cultivate. Start by turning off that internal dialogue that wants to jump in and provide solutions before your conversational partner even takes a breath. Practice the art of pausing. Allowing a few moments of silence after someone finishes speaking might feel awkward at first, but it's pure gold. It encourages the speaker to dive deeper, revealing layers of thought and emotion that surface in those precious moments of quiet. Another method is to repeat back what you've heard. This doesn't mean being a parrot, but rather saying something like, "It sounds like you're feeling overwhelmed by that project," which can miraculously lift the weight off someone's shoulders. Your ability to actively engage in their narrative makes them feel valued, and value is the secret sauce of charm. Practicing deep listening is like building a superpower. With time, you begin to master the nuances of body language and tonal shifts, allowing you to read between the lines. It often leads to richer conversations where authenticity reigns. As a fun trick to keep in mind, pay attention to your own distractions. If you find your mind wandering, gently bring it back. A quiet internal landscape makes space for your partner's words to flourish. Trust me, the magnetic pull of showing someone they are truly heard will not only enhance your charisma, but will also create lasting relationships that fill your life with joy and fulfillment. And here's a practical tip. The next time someone shares a story with you, instead of planning your response, fully immerse yourself in their experience. Let go of the urge to problem solve, just listen. You might be surprised by how much more they offer you when they sense your genuine engagement. The unspoken energy of confidence, how slowing down makes you seem more powerful. There's a peculiar paradox surrounding confidence that's baffled many, and I've been among the bewildered. It hits me like a plot twist in a bad rom-com. The more we rush, the less powerful we seem. In a world that screams for speed, the hustle, the grind, the quick victories, I've found that there's an unsung hero in this cacophony of chaos, the art of slowing down. Imagine walking into a room not with feet that are racing, but with a swan-like glide, serene and composed. When I take a moment to collect my thoughts and control my breath, suddenly I'm not just present, I'm the main event. Think of those moments where you've encountered someone who fills a space not with noise, but with a measured presence. They speak slowly, radiate calm, and seem to carry an invisible weight that draws people in. I remember a colleague who was a master at this. At meetings, while we were all fretting over timelines and action points, she'd take a deep breath, pause, and deliver her thoughts with such assurance that the atmosphere inevitably shifted. Suddenly, we were hanging on her every word, not due to speed but because she wielded her words like fine art, crafted, deliberate, and compelling. To harness that confident energy without turning your conversations into a chaotic sprint, try these strategies. First, the pause is your new best friend. When someone asks a question, instead of shouting out an answer in record time, take a gentle moment to gather your thoughts. It might feel awkward at first, like waiting for a bus that never arrives, but this little delay allows you to respond in a way that's thoughtful and intentional. Next, lean into your body language. Stand tall, and maybe even take a small step forward when you speak. It's as if you're planting a flag of confidence. Your presence can fill the room without you saying a word. And here's a little trick I love: make eye contact. Really make it. Engaging with someone's eyes sends a signal that you're not just present, you're invested. You're there, not just to speak, but to connect. Finally, frame your conversation with a little lightness. Adding humor can thaw the ice, giving your words an effortless confidence. Remember that time you dropped your phone and everyone laughed? The way you handled it? That's what I mean. Own your moments, even the clumsy ones, and let that confidence seep into every encounter. Chapter 4: The Subtle Art of Magnetic Body Language. How to own the room without saying a word. The power of body language is often underestimated, yet it creates an invisible aura of charisma around us. Imagine walking into a room and, without uttering a single word, the attention shifts to you. It happens because your body is sending out signals that are more potent than any carefully crafted speech. Standing tall with your shoulders back, smiling genuinely, and maintaining an open posture can make others gravitate toward you. It's as if your body is an orchestra, playing a melody of confidence that resonates with everyone around. Have you ever noticed how some people fill a room just by being present? That's the magic of body language, an unsung hero of charisma. When you own your space, you command respect and create an inviting atmosphere. When I first realized how much my demeanor impacted the reactions of those around me, I was astonished. I experimented with keeping my chin up and making eye contact. Suddenly, people were smiling back, drawn in without a word exchanged. Techniques for nonverbal communication can effortlessly command attention. It starts with the basics. Your eyes are often considered the windows to your soul, so use them wisely. Make eye contact. It assures people that you're engaged and interested. Pair that with subtle nods to show that you're affirming their thoughts, even when silence fills the space. A good sense of humor can also play a crucial role in this nonverbal dance. A playful smirk or an infectious laugh without words can create an atmosphere of ease and connection. Have you ever been in a meeting where someone's eyebrow raised in response to a point made creates a lighthearted chuckle? It's all about reading the room. Mirroring your audience subtly can also enhance your charisma. If someone leans forward, lean in slightly too. It's a silent way of saying, "I'm with you." These nonverbal cues can weave a narrative that supports your presence without needing to utter a single phrase. Remember, the way you carry yourself speaks volumes. Owning the room isn't merely a skill but an art, cultivated through practice and self-awareness. Embracing it starts with recognizing your own comfort zone, then pushing its boundaries a bit at a time. Use everyday interactions as your playground to experiment with these techniques. The next time you're in a crowd, observe how shifts in your body language change the energy of the environment. You'll find that sometimes less really is more. A simple smile has the power to break down barriers that words might stumble over. With each interaction, consider how your presence can be enhanced without a single peep. When you master the silent language of body movement, you'll come to realize that the room is yours for the taking. The open energy effect, how expansive posture creates instant attraction. Open body language is like an invisible magnet. It draws people in without making a single sound. When we adopt expansive postures, such as standing tall with our arms relaxed at our sides, or leaning slightly forward while chatting, we send out signals of confidence and approachability. Mirroring this open energy can immediately shift how others perceive us. Think of a time when you encountered someone with closed-off body language, arms crossed, avoiding eye contact. Not exactly the kind of vibe that makes you want to strike up a conversation, right? In contrast, someone with open body language invites interaction, making us feel more at ease and keen to engage. This immediate impact on social perception is transformative, almost like flipping a switch from stay away to come closer in a matter of seconds. So, how do we harness this magic? It all starts with being mindful of our bodies. First, let go of any stubborn habits that scream stay back. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart, avoid hunching your shoulders, and let your arms relax naturally rather than clustering them around your torso like a shield. Making a conscious effort to maintain eye contact not only shows confidence, but helps forge a connection. Another trick is to use gestures when you speak. A little movement can convey enthusiasm and warmth, making your presence even more inviting. Remember to smile, of course. It's simple, but it works wonders. People are naturally drawn to those who exude positivity. Even if you're feeling a bit awkward, a genuine smile can reassure others that you're approachable. When you want to create instant rapport, think of open energy as your secret weapon. Visualize the way a sunflower turns toward the sun. Those simple but expansive gestures invite warmth and connection. Whether you're at a networking event or a casual coffee shop, practicing these tips can elicit a genuine attraction that encourages others to engage with you. Keep this in mind. While you can't control how others respond, you can certainly control the energy you project. So next time you step into a room, remember the power of open body language. Embrace the expansiveness and watch as people feel more drawn to you, eager to connect and communicate. Microexpressions and trust signals, why tiny facial movements determine how people feel about you. The world of microexpressions is nothing short of fascinating. These fleeting facial movements, which last only a fraction of a second, can reveal a wealth of information about how someone truly feels. We are constantly sending and receiving a barrage of nonverbal cues, many of which we aren't even aware of. You might wonder, how do these tiny expressions carry such enormous weight in communication? Well, it's simple. Microexpressions often reflect our genuine emotions, bypassing our conscious mind's filters. Have you ever noticed a flicker of irritation on someone's face when you praised a mutual acquaintance? Or perhaps a smirk barely concealed when discussing an awkward situation? These are the telltale signs. We're all players in this intricate dance of human interaction, whether we realize it or not. It's like our faces are equipped with secret transmitters, sending clear signals to those keen enough to notice. The study of microexpressions offers incredible insights into building rapport, resolving conflicts, and establishing trust. After all, how can you really connect with someone if you can't decipher what their subtext is saying? To harness the power of facial expressions in forging deeper connections, we must first become attuned to our own faces. It's time to wake up our inner actors. Start by practicing in front of a mirror. Yes, it might feel a bit ridiculous, but who doesn't love a little daily performance art? Experiment with different emotions: happiness, frustration, intrigue. Notice how your face naturally responds, and soon you'll be able to control those expressions with intention. Another fantastic strategy is to pay attention to others' responses in conversations. When sharing something personal and seeing eyebrows raise or lips purse, take a mental note. What does that reaction indicate? With practice, you'll find yourself not only more aware of how you express yourself, but also more adept at reading the room, allowing you to synchronize your emotions with those around you. This form of empathetic engagement can significantly enhance your relationships, making you feel more understood and appreciated. Keep in mind that your facial expressions don't exist in a vacuum. They also connect to your emotional state. So, if you're feeling nervous, it's likely your face might betray you, even if you're trying to project confidence. Techniques like deep breathing or power posing can help align your internal emotions and external expressions. But let's face it, it's tough to remember all this in the heat of social interaction. Here's a practical tip. Before entering meetings or social gatherings, take a brief moment to check in with yourself. What do you want to convey? Take a picture of that in your mind and try to reflect it on your face. Not only will this help you appear more trustworthy, but it'll also help you set the tone for the conversation. By being more aware and intentional with your expressions, you're not just enhancing your communication skills, you're strengthening your connections one tiny expression at a time. The hand gesture trick that makes people see you as more confident and persuasive. Hand gestures are not just a delightful way to accompany our words. They play a crucial role in conveying our confidence and charisma. Imagine walking into a room, your hands animatedly emphasizing your points while your voice carries the weight of your message. You might not realize it, but your hands are working just as hard as your mouth to convey certainty and authority. When you gesture while speaking, you signal to others that you are engaged, authentic, and worth listening to. This body language can transform how you are perceived, fostering an image of someone who is not just confident, but also relatable and charismatic. Tossing your hands into the air dramatically as you recount a story can take the dullest of tales and turn them into something vivid and exciting. It's a dance of communication, one where your body is leading the show. To enhance your persuasive powers, consider incorporating specific hand gestures into your communication toolkit. One of the most effective gestures is the open palm, which suggests openness and honesty, inviting others to see your perspective. Picture this. You're making a compelling argument, and as you say something pivotal, you extend your hand slightly forward with your palm facing up. This simple move not only makes you appear more trustworthy, but also creates a sense of connection with your audience. Another powerful gesture is the steeple. That's when you bring your fingertips together, allowing your hands to form a point. This gesture exudes confidence and conveys that you are in control of the conversation, which naturally draws people to your point of view. A bit of humor can be easily injected by using exaggerated gestures. Ever seen someone mimic a big fish they caught? It's ludicrous but oddly captivating. Such gestures show that you're not only a great orator, but can also laugh at yourself, making people feel at ease. Practicing these gestures doesn't have to be daunting. Think of it as adding seasoning to your favorite recipe. Start small, using hand gestures that feel natural. As you grow comfortable, you'll find that your hands take on a life of their own, accentuating your words in ways you never imagined. Remember, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it that captivates an audience while persuading them to see your viewpoint. So, as you prepare for your next conversation, whether it's a casual chat or a high-stakes meeting, consider your hands as your allies. They can shout, "I believe in what I'm saying," even when your words are still trying to warm up. Embrace the power of gestures and let them reinforce your confidence and persuasion effortlessly. Chapter 5. The Eyes Have It, Mastering the Most Powerful Charisma Tool. Why eye contact is the closest thing to a superpower in social interactions. Imagine walking into a room full of people, and instead of nervously glancing at the floor or hiding behind your phone, you boldly lock eyes with someone across the room. Instantly, it feels as if a secret connection has sparked into life. That's the magical power of eye contact. It's like a warm hug for the soul, bridging the chasm between strangers and transforming mere acquaintances into deep connections. Have you ever noticed how laughter seems easier to share when eyes meet? There's something about a shared glance that can turn the most mundane moments into unforgettable memories. Picture this. You and a friend are engrossed in a hilarious story, and as your eyes lock, you both know exactly how ridiculous the situation was, even before the punchline drops. It's in those moments that eye contact acts as an invisible thread, weaving humor and understanding together. When you exchange that sparkling look, it's like being on a secret wavelength that only you two can hear. Now, establishing eye contact isn't just for the super smooth or the effortlessly charming. It's a skill anyone can learn. First, start with practice. In conversations, aim for that sweet spot where your gaze lingers for a moment, then break away. Think of it as a dance. You're leading and following, creating an engaging rhythm. If you're feeling shy, begin with friendly smiles and short glances, gradually increasing your comfort level. You can even practice in front of a mirror. Yes, I've done it, and no, I won't tell you how long. Just remember, the key isn't staring, it's connecting. When you make eye contact, let your eyes communicate your genuine interest, making the other person feel seen and valued. Use your body language to reinforce that connection, leaning in slightly, nodding, or adding a little sparkle to your eyes. The goal is to transform that moment of connection into something memorable. The charismatic gaze. How to look at people in a way that makes them feel special. The charismatic gaze is a powerful tool in our social toolkit, and it doesn't require a degree in body language or a PhD in psychology to master it. It's about the way you look at someone and the impact that has on them. When you make eye contact and engage someone with intention, they feel truly seen and heard. You've likely experienced it yourself. That moment when someone's gaze seems to lock onto you, creating an invisible thread that pulls you in deeper, igniting the conversation. The charismatic gaze ignites curiosity, fosters connection, and makes people feel valued, like they're the only one in the room, even when they aren't. It's like a superpower that anyone can wield, transforming mundane interactions into memorable exchanges. Mastering this gaze is smoother than you might think. Start by practicing active listening. This isn't just about throwing your eyes in a person's direction. It's about connecting with your focus. Lower your chin slightly and soften your gaze. It shows you are engaged and interested. Try to maintain eye contact for a few seconds at a time, as it conveys confidence and invites the other person to express themselves. You can even sprinkle in the occasional nod or smile to keep the engagement flowing. If you start to feel nervous, remember that a little laughter can go a long way. Crack a witty comment, followed by direct eye contact to put them at ease. You're telling them with your eyes, "Hey, I'm all in." Here's a fun tip. Practice the triangle gaze. Imagine a triangle formed between each of their eyes and their mouth. Shift your gaze between these points while you listen and speak. This keeps the interaction dynamic and engaging while making it feel natural. Keep your body language open and avoid crossing your arms. It sends a message of closed-off energy. With practice, you'll find that the charismatic gaze will not only enhance your conversations, but also boost your own confidence as you keep the focus on connecting and celebrating whoever you're talking to in that moment. After all, isn't that what we all want? To be seen, to be understood, and to feel like we matter? The psychology of pupil dilation. How attraction and connection are biologically wired into our eyes. Pupil dilation is a fascinating aspect of human biology that often goes unnoticed, yet it plays a subtle yet profound role in our interactions, especially when it comes to attraction. When we encounter someone we are attracted to, our pupils expand. This biological reaction can be traced back to our evolutionary roots, signaling excitement and interest, much like the way a cat's pupils widen when they see something intriguing, a potential mate, or perhaps a target. It's not merely a coincidence that romantic movie scenes often highlight close-ups of wide, shining eyes. They are catching the very essence of desire and connection. In social interactions, this involuntary response acts like a silent language, communicating feelings we may not yet express voicing out loud. It's as if our eyes are saying, "I'm interested over here." This is the beauty of our biology working behind the scenes, throwing cues that draw us closer together, creating bonds even before a word is spoken. Utilizing this biological response can enhance your interactions in interesting, sometimes amusing ways. Imagine walking into a gathering and making eye contact with someone. If you notice their pupils dilate slightly, it's a green light that they're engaged and interested. However, the real art of using pupil dilation to your advantage comes from creating an environment where this response is most likely to occur. To foster an atmosphere of connection, engage in conversation topics that are stimulating and enjoyable for both parties. Humor is a stellar conduit for this. Sharing a laugh not only lifts spirits, but can also result in reciprocal pupil dilation. Try leaning in subtly during exciting parts of your conversation. Your increased proximity may just pull their attention even deeper, and voila, wider pupils. Remember to mix in some playful banter. Nothing breaks the ice better than shared laughter, plus it won't hurt if your eyes are sparkling with mischief while doing it. Next time you find yourself in a social setting, pay attention to the eyes around you. Notice whose pupils dilate while talking to you. It's like playing a fun game of biological bingo. And don't forget to reciprocate. Let your eyes do the talking by allowing your pupils to widen in response. This simple act can create an irresistible chemistry, adding a touch of magic to your interactions. Eye contact paired with conscious effort can cultivate deeper connections. So next time you talk to someone, remember to offer them a glimpse of how enchanted you are by keeping an open heart and eyes while you do it. In this alluring dance of connection, your gaze is your greatest asset. Chapter 6. The Charismatic Voice. How to Speak So People Can't Look Away. Why Tone Matters More Than Words. The Secret of Vocal Charisma. Tone shapes communication in ways we often underestimate. Have you ever heard someone say the exact words you needed to hear, yet the message landed flat because of their delivery? That's the power of tone. It's the invisible force behind our interactions. Your voice is a vehicle, and the tone you choose to drive can transport listeners to realms of excitement or leave them stranded in bored silence. When I first realized that the way I said something mattered more than what I was actually saying, it felt like uncovering a secret ingredient in a family recipe. Smooth and warm tones invite connection, while sharp, clipped notes make people brace for impact. Think about it. The classic "I'm fine" can either signal a peaceful calmness or an emotional tsunami, all depending on the inflection. So, in every conversation, remember that your tone often speaks louder than your words, steering the reception of your message in directions you might not even expect. Now that we've established that tone is a game changer, let's dive into some practical tips to modulate your voice like a pro. First, consider your audience. Are you chatting with colleagues over coffee or presenting in front of a crowd? A friendly, animated tone can work wonders in informal gatherings, while a measured, confident tone is your best friend when addressing a formal setting. Don't be afraid to play with pitch. A higher pitch can convey excitement, while a lower pitch, especially when combined with a slow rhythm, can exude authority. Pronunciation also matters. Emphasize key words to draw attention where it's needed. Remember to breathe. Taking a moment to pause not only gives your listeners a chance to digest what you said, but it also adds a touch of drama to your delivery. Experiment, practice, and don't shy away from adding a dash of humor. After all, laughter is a universal language, and a well-timed chuckle can make your words dance. So, as you navigate social situations, remember that your tone can turn a good conversation into an unforgettable experience. It's like the icing on the cake, enriching every word you say. A charismatic tone can break down barriers, invite laughter, or soothe troubled waters. Whenever you're about to speak, take a second to ask yourself, what message do I want my tone to convey? Play around with different inflections as you practice. Amplify the moments that matter and let your charisma spill into each conversation. And here's a fun tip: record yourself speaking. Listening back might just reveal that your tone is more captivating than you think, or it might provide the little push you need to fine-tune your vocal charisma. So go ahead, let your unique tone shine through. How pauses create authority: the science of silence in conversation. Strategic pauses are like the secret sauce in a great conversation, elevating your presence and impact in ways you might not have imagined. Picture this. You're in the middle of sharing an idea that you believe is groundbreaking. As you speak, you trend toward a rapid-fire delivery, and the words tumble out in a delightful, if slightly overwhelming, cascade. But then, you take a breath, let silence seep into the air, and suddenly, the space you create demands attention. It's almost as if the universe holds its breath along with you. This is the power of a well-timed pause. It gives your audience a moment to digest what you've said and amplifies your message's significance. To practice this in your everyday life, you can start by simply incorporating pauses into conversations with friends or family. Imagine you're sharing a funny story. Instead of rushing through the climax, take a moment to let the suspense hang in the air. Smile knowingly, then let the punchline explode like fireworks. You'll notice the delighted chuckles often come not just from the joke, but from the anticipation you built during that pause. Another effective scenario could be during a meeting where you have a brilliant solution to a problem. Instead of allowing your enthusiasm to overpower the airwaves, lay out the key points and then pause. Let the room absorb your insights. Watch how people lean in, eager to hear the next word, infusing your authority with every second of silence. As you become more attuned to these moments, you'll notice your confidence soaring. Remember, it's not just what you say, but how you say it, and silence can be one of your greatest allies. So the next time you speak, whether to a friend, in a meeting, or in a crowded room, wield the pause like a master painter wields their brush, strategically and purposefully. And here's a nifty tip. Practice pauses in front of a mirror. Trust me, your reflection won't judge. In fact, it might just give you a silent round of applause. The warmth versus power voice trick. How to use your voice to create instant trust or influence. Finding the right balance between warmth and power in your voice is like perfecting a cocktail. The right mix can make your audience feel embraced, yet energized at the same time. Warmth in your voice evokes trust, comfort, and approachability. Think of it as inviting someone into your cozy living room for a chat over hot cocoa. In contrast, power commands attention. It's the assertiveness that says, "I know what I'm talking about, and you should listen." Picture it as standing on the podium during an important speech, radiating confidence and authority. Combining warmth with power creates a dynamic presence that inspires connection and influence. The next time you speak, consider how you can blend these two elements to enhance your message and engage your audience on a deeper level. When deciding whether to lean into warmth or power, context is crucial. If you're in a setting that requires empathy, like comforting a friend or addressing a group in distress, dial up the warmth. Use a softer tone, let your voice slow down a touch, and remember to smile. Yes, even if they can't see you, they'll feel it in your words. On the flip side, during a business meeting where decisions hang in the balance, a powerful tone can help you assert your ideas and influence others' perceptions. It's all about reading the room. If people seem disengaged, a shift to a more commanding tone can rekindle their attention. If there's tension in the air, warming up your voice can soften the mood. Knowing when to flip the switch between warmth and power is a game changer that can elevate your communication skills, making you not just a speaker, but a true influencer. Practice this dynamic duo in everyday conversations. Notice how people respond when you shift your tone. A lighthearted comment delivered with warmth can lighten a heavy discussion, while a powerful statement can rally support. Experiment with slight variations in your voice to see how it impacts your interactions. It's simple yet profoundly effective. Next time you have an important conversation, consciously toggle between warmth and power to see what it brings forth. You might be surprised at how quickly you can create trust or influence the outcome simply by adjusting your voice. Chapter 7. The Likeability Formula. How to make people instantly feel good around you. The secret of high-status humility. Why confident people don't need to prove anything. High-status humility is like wearing a tailored suit that fits just right. It exudes confidence without being overly flashy. This charm operates on the principle that true confidence doesn't demand validation from others. Instead, it thrives quietly in the background, letting accomplishments speak for themselves. It's the people who seem effortlessly at ease in social settings, not because they're boasting about their latest achievements, but because they understand their worth inherently. They don't enter a room with the need to dominate the conversation or showcase their expertise. Instead, they listen, they engage, and they draw people in with their genuine interest, displaying an allure that mere bravado can't replicate. Blending confidence with humility is an art that can be mastered with practice. It's about striking that perfect balance where you hold your head high without needing to step on others to elevate yourself. One effective method is to practice active listening. When you focus on others, you'll discover insights that enhance your perspective while simultaneously showcasing your self-assurance. It's also important to celebrate your successes, but do so in a way that invites others to join in. Acknowledge the team, share the spotlight, and realize that knowing your value doesn't have to come with trumpeting horns. Embrace your strengths while remaining approachable. This tells the world that while you have much to offer, you also value what others contribute. The next time you find yourself in a social setting, remind yourself that you are enough just as you are. Consider this practical tip. When someone asks you about your latest project or achievement, share it as a part of an ongoing narrative rather than a standalone brag. Frame it within the context of collaboration, learning, or even a humorous mishap that happened along the way. Everyone loves a good story, and showing the human side of your confidence endears you to others while maintaining that high-status humility that makes people gravitate toward you. How to make people feel important without people-pleasing. Making others feel valued is an art, a delicate dance between genuine appreciation and the pitfall of people-pleasing. It's all too easy to slip into the habit of bending over backward for others, often to the detriment of our own well-being and authenticity. Balancing this can feel like walking a tightrope. You want to lift others up, but not at the cost of your self-respect. The secret lies in finding ways to express appreciation that come from a place of authenticity rather than necessity. When you truly appreciate someone, let that appreciation simmer below the surface long enough for you to articulate it genuinely. This means recognizing their efforts or qualities in a way that resonates. You aren't just saying nice things to fill the air. Instead, you're highlighting what's truly admirable about them, making a real connection without losing yourself in the process. Now, let's delve into some techniques for genuine recognition that enhances connections. Imagine you're at work and you notice a colleague's brilliant idea during a meeting. Instead of the standard nod and smile, which feels like a polite sitcom audience reaction, try a more heartfelt validation. A well-timed compliment acknowledging the uniqueness of their perspective can turn an average day into a meaningful moment. It's about being specific. Mention what you liked about their idea and why it struck a chord with you. People thrive on acknowledgement that feels personalized and sincere. You don't have to throw in a parade with fireworks. Subtlety works wonders too. Sometimes just a simple, "You always know how to approach this topic from a fresh angle," can make a world of difference. Making people feel important should feel natural, not forced, helping to build relationships that are based on mutual respect instead of a transactional exchange. Keep in mind that authenticity is key to enhancing these connections. Don't dive into the murky waters of forced admiration. It won't hold up in the long run. Instead, practice mindfulness. Genuinely listen to people, engage with their stories, and appreciate their perspectives. This not only allows you to recognize their importance, but also enriches your interactions. And here's a nifty tip. Take mental notes when someone shares something meaningful about themselves. Later, you can refer back to it, showing you truly care and remember. If someone mentioned they love cooking, fine-tune that acknowledgement next time you see them. Say something along the lines of, "I was thinking about your lasagna the other day. It's made me seriously reconsider my microwave dinners." This creates a ripple effect of connection that isn't obsequious, but rather humanizing, reinforcing their self-worth without requiring you to sacrifice your own authenticity. Emotional mirroring. Why copying someone's energy makes them like you more. Emotional mirroring is like a social superpower that can transform your interactions from awkward to amazing in mere seconds. When I first discovered this concept, it felt like stumbling upon a hidden treasure map. The essence of emotional mirroring lies in reflecting the energy and emotions of the person you're engaging with. When you subtly mimic their body language, tone of voice, or even their facial expressions, it creates an invisible thread of connection between you. You might find yourself in a conversation and notice that the other person's laughter makes you laugh a little harder, or their intense expression pulls you into a more serious wavelength. This magical chemistry is no accident. Scientifically, it's been shown that when we mirror someone's emotional state, it not only enhances our rapport with them, but can also lead to increased feelings of empathy and trust. It's the reason why you'll end up feeling more connected to someone who gets you, especially when they reflect your vibe right back at you. Creating those connections is easier than you might think. Start by consciously observing the person you're talking to. Are they animated and speaking quickly? Feel free to crank up your own energy to match theirs. If they seem more introspective and calm, it's okay to dial your enthusiasm down a notch or two and meet them where they are. You don't have to be an expert in body language or have years of acting experience. Simply tapping into the feelings of the moment can work wonders. Remember when you had a great conversation with a new friend and it felt effortless? That's emotional mirroring at play. It's like a dance where each partner knows the steps, intuitively switching between leading and following. Engaging with someone on this level plants seeds of deeper connection that sprout into friendship or trust before you even realize it. If you can combine a bit of playful teasing with appropriate mirroring, you'll be surprised at how much more someone opens up to you. Practicing this isn't just a one-and-done deal. It's an art form that requires a bit of finesse and courage, especially if you're not used to stretching your social muscles in this way. Look for small openings where you can reflect the energy around you, and soon you'll find yourself in more engaged conversations. However, a critical tip is to ensure your mirroring feels genuine. People can pick up on inauthenticity faster than you can say awkward silence, and that will inadvertently create a distance instead of bringing you closer. So, listen as much as you reflect. When someone shares something personal, match not just their words, but their emotional experience too. That's the real magic of emotional mirroring. Get comfortable with this practice, and you'll find that the connections you forge will be more profound and lasting, all because you took the time to sync up with someone else's emotional rhythm. The curiosity effect. Why asking the right questions makes you unforgettable. The art of curiosity in conversations is a magical thing. It has the power to transform mundane exchanges into memorable encounters. When I engage in a discussion, I aim to make the other person feel like the star of the show. It's about asking questions that invite them into the spotlight, showcasing my genuine interest in their stories. The insatiable hunger for knowledge turns the focus away from me and onto them, which automatically amplifies my appeal. It's almost like flipping a switch. The moment I ask a question that piques their interest, I become more than just another face in the crowd. People remember those who make them feel special, and curiosity is the golden key that unlocks that door. Not just any questions will do, though. It's essential to strike a balance between playful banter and deeper inquiries that lead to meaningful conversations. The trick is to be engaged, truly listening as they answer, making them feel like the topic at hand is the most important thing in the world. So what does a powerful question look like? Imagine asking, if you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why? This kind of inquiry not only draws people in, but also gives them a platform to share their passions and insights. It sparks debates, laughter, and stories that connect us on a deeper level. Another gem is, what's a challenge you faced that changed your perspective on life? This one typically leads to rich narratives laden with emotion and wisdom. The key is to ask questions that resonate personally and provide an opportunity for the person to reflect and share. Instead of settling for the usual small talk about the weather or traffic, I find that intriguing queries create an atmosphere of excitement and discovery. They keep the conversation bouncing back and forth, transforming it into a captivating exchange where both parties walk away feeling enriched. Asking the right questions is like having a secret weapon in your conversational arsenal. It isn't just about gathering interesting anecdotes. It's about creating connections, sparking joy, and leaving a lasting impression. For those who wish to stand out, the real takeaway is this: cultivate your curiosity. Embrace it wholeheartedly in every interaction. Take pleasure in learning about others. Show a sincere interest in their experiences, and don't shy away from delving into deeper topics. That's how you become unforgettable. So the next time you're faced with a social gathering or an encounter with someone new, remember that the artful application of curiosity can turn a simple conversation into a memorable exchange that resonates long after it ends. Always keep a few intriguing questions up your sleeve. You'll never know when they might come in handy. Chapter 8. The Power of Storytelling. How to make people hang on your every word. How great communicators turn small moments into captivating stories. Everyday experiences hold a treasure trove of narrative potential, waiting for the right storyteller to breathe life into them. Picture yourself sitting at a cafe, watching the world go by. At first glance, it's just a mundane scene, right? But look a little closer. You might spot a couple sharing a soft laugh over a spilled drink, an elderly man reading a newspaper as if he's solving the world's problems, or a barista who handles coffee orders with the finesse of a maestro conducting a symphony. Each little moment, when noticed and interpreted through the lens of storytelling, becomes an opportunity to engage and connect. Great communicators know this secret. They have a knack for transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. They understand that the key to captivating storytelling lies not in the grandiose, but rather in the intimate, relatable fragments of life that we all encounter. They paint these moments with vivid details, wrapping in emotions that resonate deeply within us. Crafting captivating stories is an art, but fortunately, it's a skill anyone can learn. Start with the seed of a small moment. It could be as trivial as a chat with a neighbor or a mishap during your morning routine. From there, cultivate your narrative by asking questions. What was the emotional arc? Did it evoke laughter, frustration, or joy? Use sensory details to set the scene. Describe the sights, sounds, and smells that surrounded that moment. Was the laughter of the couple accompanied by the scent of fresh pastries wafting through the air? Finally, consider the underlying message or lesson. What can the audience glean from this petite snippet of life? This framework not only adds depth to your storytelling, but also ensures your audience feels something profound, whether it be humor, nostalgia, or inspiration. Remember, it's all about connection. The magic of storytelling is powerful. It can transport listeners to a different time and place, igniting imaginations in ways that data and bullet points just can't. To turn a simple moment into a captivating story, embrace vulnerability. Share your personal reflections and quirks. Don't shy away from the messy parts. They add flavor. Witty anecdotes, playful sarcasm, and genuine authenticity will create a kinship with your audience. While you're doing all this, keep a keen ear for feedback. Does your audience laugh at the punchline? Do they lean in during the dramatic pause? Use these cues to gauge your storytelling success and refine your craft over time. So, next time you find inspiration in the mundane, remember that it's not just a moment. It's fuel for tales that can linger long after the last word has been spoken. Embrace those tiny treasures, and when in doubt, let your own voice shine through. The high-stakes storytelling technique. How to make people feel what you feel. High-stakes storytelling is like jazz. It's all about improvisation and making connections. At its core, it's an art of weaving emotions into tales that grip your audience and won't let go. You know when you're watching a movie, and your heart races during a narrow escape or a pivotal moment. That's not just good directing, it's high-stakes storytelling. This technique allows the storyteller to forge an emotional bond with listeners, pulling them into the narrative. To accomplish this, you have to tap into universal feelings: fear, love, joy, and despair. It's about conveying your own emotions so vividly that your audience can't help but feel what you feel. When you laugh, they laugh. When you cry, they cry. You are a vessel of shared human experience, and your ability to connect is what makes your storytelling resonate. Every plot twist and character arc needs to matter, not just to the plot, but to the people experiencing it. Creating tension in your storytelling is the heartbeat of high-stakes narratives. It's like cooking a perfect steak. Add the right amount of heat at the right time to get a tender, juicy result. Start with compelling characters facing daunting obstacles, and build suspense through pacing and timing. Sprinkle in just enough foreshadowing so your audience doesn't see the twists coming until it's almost too late. Emotional arcs are equally essential. They provide a roller coaster of feelings that keeps your listeners on their toes. Using humor can be a sneaky weapon in this process. It lightens the moment before you hit them with something heavy. Imagine building up to a heartbreaking revelation and then hitting them with a quirky twist that adds depth instead of awkwardness. Keep them guessing, and remember to vary the emotional tempo so they feel compelled to stay invested. Pour your passion, vulnerability, and heart into every moment, because that's what they will remember, the spark of connection you created. One golden nugget to remember is that every great story has stakes high enough to make the audience lean in. Aim for transparency. If the risks are tangible, the emotions will be palpable. Paint a picture so vibrant they can see it, feel it, and maybe even taste it if the moment calls for it. In essence, it's not just about what the characters face, but how those challenges reflect our own fears and desires. Make them care deeply about the characters, and their journey becomes a symphony of shared feelings. So the next time you sit down to share a story, remember to layer your emotional textures like fine fabric on a loom. Together, they'll create the most compelling tapestry of human experience. Why humor is a charisma amplifier, and how to use it naturally. Humor is like a secret sauce when it comes to charisma. It has this remarkable ability to break the ice, lighten the mood, and create a bond between people. Think about it. When you're in a conversation with someone who cracks a good joke, doesn't it instantly elevate the experience? It's hard not to smile, and that smile works wonders in making your charisma shine. Yet, humor doesn't always hit the mark. The classic example of humor gone wrong often centers around inappropriate jokes or the infamous dad joke that leaves everyone cringing instead of laughing. I once tried to make a lighthearted joke about my cooking skills at a dinner party, only to realize halfway through that I was talking to a professional chef. The silence that followed was so deafening I could hear my own heart trying to backtrack. The key is knowing your audience, A personal experience is fantastic, but gauge the reaction and adjust accordingly. When humor weaves seamlessly into a conversation, it creates warmth and makes you memorable. It highlights your ability to connect and engage, making people want to be around you. Incorporating humor into your storytelling or conversations shouldn't feel forced. It should feel as natural as breathing. One effective technique is to anchor your humor to shared experiences. For instance, when telling a story, you might say something like, "You know that feeling when you walk into a room and forget why you're there? I live that every day." This taps into a common experience, eliciting laughter while also making you relatable. Timing is crucial. Pausing just before the punchline can amplify the impact of your joke. It creates suspense and keeps listeners engaged, eagerly waiting for the humorous twist. Additionally, playfulness with language is a great way to sprinkle in humor. Puns, wordplay, and quirky comparisons can add a lighthearted touch, as long as they feel organic to the conversation. Balancing humor with authenticity is vital. It's about enhancing your genuine self rather than trying to become a stand-up comic. Practice helps too. Just like any skill, the more you incorporate humor into your daily interactions, the easier it becomes. Surprising yourself with witty responses or playful banter can turn mundane conversations into memorable exchanges. How to make even ordinary conversations feel electric. The secret sauce for transforming mundane chats into unforgettable exchanges lies in creativity. When you approach conversations with a spark of imagination, you begin to see the world through a lens of possibility. Think of conversation as a dance. Instead of following a boring script, throw on some energetic music and let your personality flow. Ask unexpected questions that challenge the norm. Instead of, "How was your day?" consider, "If your day were a type of sandwich, what kind would it be?" This playful approach sets the stage for exploration and whimsy. Surprising or quirky questions can ignite enthusiasm, helping both you and your conversation partner break free from the routine. By using vivid imagery and storytelling, you can invite others to step into your world, making them feel personally invested in the dialogue. When you infuse your words with passion and originality, every chat becomes an adventure. Chapter 9: Social Gravity. How to be the person everyone wants to be around. The psychology of social proof. Why people are drawn to those who already have attention. Social proof is like that invisible force in a crowded room, gravitating people towards those who are already basking in the limelight. You've seen it happen. A speaker commands the stage, and suddenly the crowd leans in, entranced by that magnetic pull. This phenomenon isn't just the thrill of the spotlight. It stems from a deep-seated psychological tendency to look to others when making decisions. Social proof operates under the premise that if many people are doing something, it must be the correct action. It's as if we've been wired to consider the population's choices as a compass for our own behavior. Take a moment to think about it. Remember when a new restaurant opened and the lines wrapped around the block? That's social proof in action. Our brains interpret the number of patrons as a direct reflection of quality. If everyone is eating there, it must be good. This cognitive shortcut helps us navigate our social world, but it can also amplify others' attractiveness simply based on their popularity. Now let's get to the juicy part. How do you use the power of social proof to enhance your presence and, dare I say, your allure? One effective approach is to curate your social environment. Surround yourself with people who exude confidence and have their own audience. By doing so, their energy and reputation can reflect onto you. When others see you mingling and engaging with bold personalities, you're automatically elevated in their eyes. It's like being part of an elite club where their membership card is friendship. Additionally, showcasing endorsements from others can serve as powerful social proof. Whether it's testimonials, shout-outs on social media, or highlights of collaborative projects, these endorsements can create a buzz around you that's hard to ignore. Think of it like having a personal cheerleading squad that draws people to your cause simply because others are vested in your success. Here's a practical tip to implement. Start small by sharing your wins, no matter how tiny they may seem. Let's say you just aced a presentation at work. Share it. When others see that you're making waves, they will gravitate towards you, wanting to get in on your success. With time, you'll find that a little bit of social proof can do wonders for your visibility and charm. The next time you walk into a room, remember, people are watching, and the pull of social proof can work wonders in transforming you from a wallflower into the life of the party. How to become the connector. The secret to social influence. Being a connector isn't just about knowing a lot of people. It's about creating genuine relationships that elevate your charisma in social circles. Think of a connector as someone who acts as the social glue in a room. You walk into a gathering, and there's that one person who effortlessly brings people together. They just have a knack for knowing who would hit it off and making those introductions. That's the power of being a connector. When you understand the art of connection, it boosts your influence and makes you magnetic. Suddenly, you're the lifeblood of the party, the person others gravitate toward. Your presence lights up a room, and it's not just because you wear the latest trends. It's how you engage, interact, and connect with people on a personal level. To foster connections effectively requires some well-thought-out strategies. Start by genuinely being interested in others. Instead of thinking about what you can say next, listen actively. Ask questions that invite stories rather than one-word answers. When you meet someone new, try to find common ground. It's amazing what small shared experiences can do to create an instant bond. Pay attention to details. Remember names, key interests, and even small quirks. Follow up with a text or a chance meeting reference, making them feel valued and remembered. Host informal gatherings or join groups that align with your interests. This is prime territory for sparking new friendships. Don't underestimate the power of humor, either. A funny anecdote can break the ice faster than a sales pitch. The aim is to build a network based not just on quantity, but the quality of those connections, allowing you to cultivate lasting bonds and expand your social influence. A little secret: when you focus on helping others, your influence skyrockets without you even realizing it. Share opportunities, refer people, or even offer to help someone out with no strings attached. This selflessness fosters trust and loyalty, which will make your network thrive in the long run. Always remember that being a connector isn't just about attending countless events. It's about sparking meaningful conversations and discovering new ways to engage. So, the next time you walk into a room, try adopting this mindset. Turn it into a quest to connect, not just be seen, and you'll soon find that your social sphere grows, all while adding a touch of charm and authenticity. Why charismatic people make others feel charismatic, and how to do this effortlessly. Charisma is like a contagious laughter in a room. Once someone starts chuckling, it's nearly impossible not to join in. This reciprocity is the invisible thread that pulls people together, creating a fabric of connection and energy. When a charismatic person enters a social environment, their confidence and energy radiate, lifting the mood and sparking vibrant interactions. It's as if their charisma is a powerful magnet, attracting others and allowing the vibe to shift collectively. We start mirroring their enthusiasm. Nods turn into smiles, smiles into laughter, and suddenly the atmosphere buzzes with life. It's fascinating how one person's aura can cause a ripple effect, with charisma flowing back and forth, much like a fun game of emotional tug-of-war. The key is recognizing that the magic lies not just in the person leading the charge, but in the reactions that follow, creating a circle of charisma fueled by appreciation and connection. So how do you become the charismatic conductor of this magnetic orchestra? The trick lies not in faking charm, but in empowering others to shine. Start by genuinely complimenting people around you. It's amazing how a sincere praise can illuminate someone's features and boost their energy, making them feel seen and appreciated. Ask open-ended questions that pull others into the conversation, inviting them to share their stories and passions. Show active listening, leaning in, making eye contact, and responding with enthusiasm. When you do this, you create an environment where others feel valued and, in turn, become more engaging and animated. Share infectious enthusiasm for even the smallest things. That excitement is bound to spread. Playfully weaving humor into discussions sparks joy, making everyone feel good and lighthearted. Remember, charisma is not about being the loudest voice in the room. Sometimes it's in the quiet confidence and the way you make others feel effortlessly magnetic. Bringing this infectious energy into your daily interactions is simpler than you might think. Embrace your authentic self and let your unique spark shine through. Focus on being present and enjoying the moment with others. Charisma flourishes during shared experiences. A practical tip? Begin conversations with a warm smile and a nod, breaking the ice without even having to speak. This small act radiates openness and invites others to engage. Infuse lightheartedness into your demeanor, making jokes and sharing funny anecdotes. Humor is a brilliant tool for connection, It disarms people and allows them to feel at ease. You'd be surprised at how powerful it is to encourage the charisma around you, as it creates an uplifting environment where everyone walks away feeling a little brighter. So, sprinkle charisma like confetti and watch it transform every room you enter. How to create a magnetic energy field that people can't resist. Magnetic energy is an intriguing concept that intertwines with the way we engage in social interactions. Imagine walking into a room and instantly drawing attention, not because of what you wear or how much you talk, but simply because you exude an irresistible energy. This magnetic energy is more than just charisma. It's a force that influences how people perceive you and how they respond to your presence. It has everything to do with the vibe you project, the emotional states you embody, and the subtle signals you send. When you cultivate a magnetic energy field, you create an environment where others feel drawn to you, like moths to a flame. Your confidence radiates, your passion shines, and people can't help but want to connect with you. Whether it's to get to know you better, collaborate on a project, or simply share a laugh. Cultivating this irresistible energy isn't about putting on a show. It's about being genuine and allowing your true self to shine through. One technique is to practice mindfulness. By being present in conversation, you create a space of genuine connection. Smile sincerely and maintain eye contact. This tells the other person that you value their presence and are fully engaged. You can also try interesting body language tricks, like leaning slightly towards the person you're speaking with. This subtle shift creates a feeling of intimacy and draws people closer. Another technique is to tap into your passions. When you talk about what you love, your enthusiasm can be contagious. Your excitement acts like fuel, igniting a fire in those around you. Humor is also a vital ingredient. Wit and laughter break down barriers and make people feel at ease, enhancing the magnetic pull of your energy. Ultimately, your magnetic energy field is about being authentic and approachable. The more you can embrace who you are, with all your quirks and interests, the more magnetic you become. Surround yourself with positive influences and engage in activities that uplift your spirit. Remember, people are drawn to authenticity like bees to honey. A great practical tip to leave you with is to keep a mental note of what makes you light up. Is it a project you're passionate about or a hobby that brings you joy? Lean into these experiences, let their energy radiate from you, and watch as your magnetic field expands, inviting connection and fostering relationships that shine bright. Chapter 10: The Secret Power of Playfulness. Why fun is the ultimate charisma hack. Why serious people repel and playful people attract. When I think about the dynamics of social attraction, two characters come to mind: the serious individual who walks around with a permanent frown and the playful spirit who dances through life like they're in a musical. It's fascinating how the vibe we give off can lead to either repulsion or attraction. Serious people often carry an invisible weight. Their conversations may be heavy, often revolving around work projects or traffic jams, and they tend to swallow the laughter that might break the ice. Playfulness, on the other hand, is a superpower. It's like sunshine on a rainy day. Playful people naturally attract others because they embody warmth and joy, creating an environment that feels safe and inclusive. Who wouldn't want to be around someone who sparks joy rather than someone who makes every encounter feel like a board meeting? Embracing playfulness isn't just about throwing caution to the wind. It's about unlocking a charm that many don't realize they have inside them. The great thing about play is that it opens up avenues for laughter, connection, and creativity. When I decided to add more play to my personality, I discovered that even the most mundane moments could be transformed. Whether it was turning a grocery run into a spontaneous dance-off in the middle of the aisle or reframing a frustrating situation with a humorous twist, playful approaches lightened the mood and made interactions memorable. It's remarkable how humor can transform a simple conversation into a delightful exchange. Beyond just attraction, being playful can enhance your relationships, foster collaboration, and create bonds that are more durable than the fanciest of materials. In a world that can feel far too serious, choosing to be playful is like choosing to be a sunbeam cutting through the clouds. So dare to add a sprinkle of silliness in your day. Let loose and watch how people start gravitating toward you. How teasing, wit, and playfulness create instant attraction and trust. Playful banter has an incredible way of enhancing engagement and building connections quickly among peers. It's like the secret sauce of social interactions, instantly elevating the atmosphere from mundane to magical. Every time I crack a joke or tease a friend, I notice their eyes light up and a smile breaks across their face. There's a delightful dance at play, a rhythm of give and take where laughter bridges gaps and forges camaraderie. This dynamic fosters an openness that allows people to drop their defenses. When we share playful moments, we create shared experiences, paving the way for trust. It's no longer just small talk. It becomes a genuine connection, led by laughter and lightheartedness. I've seen this effect in action countless times, from coffee shop encounters to casual meetings with new colleagues. The spark ignites the moment witty remarks fly between parties, making everyone feel more relaxed and engaged. Incorporating playful teasing into your social toolkit transforms the way you interact. Start by observing the interactions around you. Notice how certain types of banter trigger laughter and ease tension, making awkward silences disappear like magic. It's not about being mean-spirited. It's about sparking joy and creating an environment where everyone feels included and valued. For instance, when teasing a friend about their obsession with avocado toast, I often follow it up with an over-the-top compliment about how they must be the ultimate foodie. This playful exchange is lighthearted yet affectionate, emphasizing that I respect their tastes while also poking fun. You'll want to choose moments that match the vibe of the group. What works with one friend might not resonate with another. Experiment with gentle teasing and watch how it lightens the mood, engages everyone, and encourages others to join in. Remember, humor is a two-way street, and the goal is to invite others to play along. You'll soon find that a little lighthearted banter leads to richer conversations and deeper bonds. The next time you find yourself in a social setting, don't shy away from infusing your interactions with humor. Practice playful teasing. It could be the key to forging lasting connections. One simple method is to frame your comments with a playful tone, ensuring that your intent is clear and friendly. And here's a golden nugget. Watch body language and facial expressions closely. If the person you're teasing responds positively, keep the banter going. If they seem uncomfortable, pivot to a different approach. Ultimately, the goal is to create a fun environment where everyone feels safe to engage, laugh, and maybe even share a few secrets. Embrace the power of playful interaction. It's not just about attraction, but fostering an atmosphere where trust flourishes and friendships thrive. The science of contagious emotions. How to radiate joy in a way that draws people in. Emotional contagion is a fascinating phenomenon where we can catch emotions from one another like a cold. It sounds simple enough, but the implications are profound. Research shows that our feelings can spread through social networks just as quickly as a viral meme. When you smile at someone, it may trigger a surge of hormones like oxytocin and dopamine in both you and the recipient, creating a joyful little feedback loop. Isn't it wild to think that our emotions can be infectious? Think of charismatic connections as emotional Wi-Fi. When you're tuned into the right frequency, you can stream positivity and joy straight to others, no password needed. Imagine walking into a room filled with people. If one person beams with happiness, the mood lightens and soon you'll see others smiling too. This chain reaction can happen whether you're aware of it or not. So, what does this mean for your interactions? It suggests that if you want to connect meaningfully with others, harnessing the power of positive emotions can be your secret weapon. Being aware of emotional contagion can transform how you relate to those around you, making your presence magnetic and your interactions more enriching. Now that we've unpacked the science, let's get practical. Radiating positive emotions is like being a walking sunshine. It's all about the internal glow. Start with gratitude. It's an irresistible emotional booster. When you express genuine appreciation, you not only uplift yourself but elevate everyone nearby. That warm feeling is contagious. Another impeccable strategy is to nurture your enthusiasm. When you're passionate about something, whether it's your job, a hobby, or even your favorite TV show, share that excitement. Enthusiasm is like a high-voltage battery. It can charge up a room. It's also essential to be mindful of your body language. Open postures, maintaining eye contact, and using expressive gestures can draw people in. They won't just hear your words, they'll feel your vibe. Sprinkle in a touch of humor. Nothing lightens the mood and draws people in like a good laugh. Even in serious situations, a dash of humor can soothe frayed nerves and elevate emotional states. Lastly, genuine listening is key. When others feel heard and valued, your emotional radiance shines even brighter, creating an atmosphere where joy thrives. Remember, the next time you walk into a room, You have the power to transform it with your energy, so let your joyful light shine. How to develop a charismatic sense of humor, even if you're not naturally funny. Humor is a fascinating skill that can be developed, regardless of whether you feel you were born with a funny bone. Just like any other ability, it needs practice, understanding, and a touch of creativity. I remember a time when I was convinced I could never be funny. I would watch stand-up comedians, laugh heartily, and then feel a pang of envy, convinced I could never deliver a punchline with the same flair. But humor is more than just timing. It's about connection and observation. Start by immersing yourself in funny books, podcasts, or shows. Notice the patterns, how the best comedians build tension and release it with jokes. Try to put this into practice in your daily conversations. Jot down funny things you experienced during your day or witty observations about ordinary situations. These moments are gold mines for laughter. Share them with friends and see their reactions. It's in these structured practices of observing, jotting, and recounting where you'll begin to cultivate a genuine sense of humor. Watch out for nuances in your conversations. A well-timed quip can lighten any mood and make you a magnet for charisma. To truly explore your unique comedic style, you have to embrace what makes you, well, you. Forget about imitating others. Instead, dig deep into your own life experiences and perspectives. What makes you chuckle or roll your eyes? Tap into your quirks and the absurdities of your reality. Let's face it, everyone has those moments that are painfully awkward or hilariously relatable. Use them. Test your material with a trusted circle and notice what resonates. You might discover that your dry wit or playful sarcasm brings out laughter in others significantly more than the typical joke. Engaging with your uniqueness not only enhances your charismatic presence, but also allows others to feel more connected to you. They appreciate your authenticity. Promoting laughter can come from storytelling, self-deprecation, or even observational humor. Just make sure you find comforting ground between being humorous and respectful. After all, a true comedian knows when to tease and when to tread lightly. Humor isn't just about the jokes, it's also a state of mind. Cultivating a lighthearted outlook helps you see the world through a comedic lens, making the journey so much more fun. Try to approach life's challenges with a sprinkle of humor. Joke about an embarrassing moment you had or laugh off minor mistakes. The more you practice this mindset, the more naturally funny you may become, while your charisma simply shines through. So, step into the scene, embrace your quirks, and remember that laughter is a universal language. This newfound sense of humor will not just elevate your charisma, but also enhance your interactions with everyone you meet. Finding joy and humor in every situation will not only brighten your day, but also uplift others. Keep that in mind, and who knows, you may find yourself the life of the party without really trying. Your charisma blueprint: how to apply these secrets every day. Charisma isn't about changing who you are. It's about amplifying your best self. Charisma often seems like this elusive quality that only a select few possess, but the truth is, it's all about authenticity. You don't need to put on a facade or mimic someone else's charm to attract people. Instead, think of charisma as a spotlight that enhances the attributes you already have. It's not about polishing yourself into something you're not. It's about shining a light on the traits that make you, well, you. When you walk into a room with confidence, embracing your quirks and unique traits, you naturally draw people in. Imagine your best features radiating outwards, encouraging others to appreciate and connect with your genuine self. This isn't just a feel-good mantra. It's a truth grounded in the way we relate to one another. Embracing your individuality is crucial on this charismatic journey. Your quirks, your laugh, your perspective. These are the facets of your personality that set you apart in a world full of cookie-cutter representations. When you accept and celebrate these traits, you give yourself permission to be authentic, which is magnetically attractive to others. People are drawn to those who are unapologetically themselves. It's refreshing. So, the next time you're about to pull back or suppress a part of yourself to blend in, remember that your uniqueness is your superpower. It's the uneven edges that make you interesting, much like a well-loved book with dog-eared pages and highlight marks. Lean into that individuality. Let it be the cornerstone of your charisma, and watch how effortlessly connections begin to form around you. You've got everything you need already. Just turn up the volume on your natural self. As you embark on this journey of embracing your best self, remember this handy tip: practice being present. Engage with people in conversations with genuine interest and enthusiasm, focusing completely on the moment. This practice not only boosts your charisma, but allows you to notice and amplify traits in yourself that shine when you're genuinely engaged. After all, charisma isn't just a performance, it's a connection, and the more authentic you are, the more magnetic those connections become. The daily charisma habits that make a lasting impact. The beauty of charisma lies in its accessibility. You don't need to be born with dazzling charm to exude it. Small, actionable daily habits can make a world of difference in how you interact with others. For instance, starting your day with a simple intention can shift your entire mindset. When you wake up and tell yourself, "Today, I will connect genuinely with everyone I meet," you set the stage for magnetic interactions. Remember to practice active listening. It's more than just nodding while someone talks. Engage with their words, ask follow-up questions, and show genuine interest. When people feel heard, they naturally gravitate towards you, as if you possess some secret power. Another simple habit is to sprinkle in compliments where genuine. Not the insincere flattery kind, but heartfelt acknowledgments that make people feel good. A well-timed compliment can brighten someone's day and create an atmosphere of warmth. Encourage laughter whenever you can. Humor is a glue that binds relationships. A light-hearted joke or a funny anecdote can ease tensions and open doors to deeper connections, making you not just likable, but unforgettable. As we glide through the process of fostering charisma, it's helpful to summarize the key takeaways that can energize your charisma-building efforts. Think of charisma as a daily workout. It requires consistent practice. Embrace the intention of connection, prioritize active engagement in conversations, and sprinkle in genuine compliments. Remember that laughter isn't just a side dish, it's a main course in the feast of charisma. The most charming individuals exude authenticity. Emulating traits like generosity and openness makes you approachable, transforming ordinary interactions into memorable experiences. The enchanting effect of your charisma isn't reserved for only grand occasions. It flourishes in mundane moments. Say hi to the barista, share a laugh with a coworker, or ask a stranger about their day. Each interaction is a brushstroke on the canvas of your charisma. So, step out each day equipped with these habits, and you'll create an aura of charm that not only uplifts you but everyone around you. In the spirit of maintaining your charisma-building journey, keep this practical tip at the forefront. Always strive to leave people better than you found them. A friendly smile, a genuine interest in their day, or a little kindness can turn a fleeting encounter into a more meaningful connection. Cultivate charisma like a garden. Nurture it daily, and watch it bloom in your life. A final challenge. How will you show up in the world starting today? Imagine this. You step out into the world with a newfound sense of courage, ready to sprinkle a little magic wherever you go. Today, I challenge you to implement everything you've learned, to step beyond the confines of your comfort zone, and to show up boldly. Yes, boldly. We've spent time peeling back the layers of persona, fears, and self-doubt, and now it's time to put that knowledge into action. Think of it as donning your superhero cape, albeit one made of the wisdom you've gathered. You might not have superpowers, but you have something even better: your voice, your ideas, and the capacity to connect with others. So, whether it's sharing a thought on social media, engaging in a conversation that matters, or simply smiling at a stranger, take this moment to launch yourself into the world with enthusiasm. Make today the day you dare to be seen, heard, and felt. Your potential is not just about personal achievement, it's about the ripple effect you can create. Each interaction holds the promise of connection and influence. When you embrace your true self, you inspire others to do the same. Imagine a world where everyone shows up authentically, where vulnerability is accepted, and where laughter dances on the air. That's the magic of our collective courage. So, as you step back into your daily life, remember to carry the warmth of connection with you. Get involved in conversations that matter, challenge the status quo with your unique perspective, and spark joy wherever you can. This challenge is not just an invitation, it's a call to action. Embrace your potential and recognize that how you show up today can change not just your life, but also the lives of those around you. To get started, pick one small action today that aligns with your bold intentions. Maybe it's reaching out to someone you admire or simply reflecting on your own strength. Every step counts, and each moment is an opportunity to shine. So go ahead, unleash your charisma and charm the world with your authentic self. If there's one thing you take away from this book, let it be this: Charisma isn't about changing who you are, it's about amplifying your best self. It's not about tricks or manipulation. It's about understanding human connection at its core. What makes people feel seen, heard, and drawn to you? Whether it's mastering body language, improving your presence, or refining the way you communicate, charisma is built through small, intentional actions that, over time, create a magnetic presence. The question is, how will you use it? You now have the tools to walk into any room with confidence, to engage with people in a way that leaves an impact, and to build relationships that are authentic and lasting. But knowledge without action is just potential. So here's your challenge. Start today. Try just one of these techniques, whether it's making better eye contact, improving your voice, or becoming a better listener, and see what happens. Charisma is a skill, and like any skill, it grows with practice. The world is waiting for you to step into your full presence. So go ahead, become unforgettable. This has been The Science of Charisma, how ordinary people become magnetic and unforgettable, written and published by Mindful Literary. Thank you for listening.